am Shane Cashman, and welcome to Tales from the Inverted World, Volume 2, Ghosts of the Civil War. Now a Timcast exclusive. The following story you are about to hear is true. The Ghost Lights over Sandtown Road, Part 2. Clint's granddad was a fit man for 75. He ran every morning. He wore a white beard with what seemed like a permanent smile, and he had a firm handshake. When he was a boy, he worked on the 4th floor of a Sears and Roebuck. He remembers standing at the windows and staring across the street where he could see the ball field where the Atlanta Crackers used to play, back when he made $2 an hour. I asked him what he thought about a UFO in his sister's backyard. My grandparents bought that house in 1938, he said, and nodded across the street. My grandpa was a builder. There's a room in there with 8 doors. My granddaddy died on the first day of 1954. And when he passed away, it was only my grandma, and she stayed over there and took care of her and her invalid daughter. They lived in that front bedroom up there, and she said she'd look out the window and see the things flying out there over the yard. She said she'd seen them land on more than one occasion. One time, my uncle said he got tired looking at the thing in the field, so he got in his truck and drove right toward it, and he said it zipped back up into the sky, and it was gone. He maintained eye contact as he spoke. They didn't tell no lies, he said. She said it was round, with lights. He told me he'd also seen the lights real early in the morning before the sun was up when hunting. My Aunt Sis was a good Christian woman, Clint said. It really was a big deal for her to say she saw the UFOs. She said they would fly all the way down, his grandma said. She talked about them having really bright lights, and she watched it sit there spinning, and eventually she would get bored and go to bed because they weren't doing much. You think it was the aliens or the government? I asked. I think it was some sort of stealth bomber, Clint said. This was back in the 1960s and 70s. We started talking about war, theorizing all the weapons the governments must have been testing in secret that we might not even be able to comprehend until the moment they're deployed. Is Sherman a bad word down here? I asked Clint's granddad. They laughed as if to say, oh yes. Do you think you felt the aftershock of Sherman's march? After all, Sherman didn't burn down Washington, but the state in general saw massive destruction all around. My grandmother, Clint's granddad said, the one that lived up near Tignall, where I was born, they said Sherman came through and he didn't burn grandfather's house. He would have, but evidently Sherman was a Mason, and so was my great-grandpa. So they shook hands like Masons in the yard, and Sherman let them go. How did the hunting go? His grandma asked, bringing us all back to the present day. 2 small deer, his granddad said. I asked about the evil goat, and he smiled and rubbed the back of his neck, as though slightly uncomfortable. He gave me an uneasy smirk. That was a bad goat, he said.
Sign up at timcast.com to watch the full episodes of Tales from the Inverted World, Ghosts of the Civil War.